Okay, today I'm going to take my 300 Rally out into the Texas Hill Country and give it some top speed runs down a highway, see how it does. It's a stock bike with the exception of I've done suspension work, which is not going to change the top speed, and I'm 210 pounds with my suit on, with my bag there on the back of the bike. I'd say 230 pounds, something like that. Well, let's see how she does. Now you can see the speedometer says 67, 68, GPS 65. So the speedometer on this bike is about 2 miles an hour fast. And you can see it's a little bit hilly. Not super hilly or anything, but there's definitely up and down. Going downhill now, you can see it creeps up to 70. I'm holding the throttle steady. And as we go back up, without giving it more fuel, more throttle, the speed normally, typically, expectedly drops. As we go back uphill, the speed expectedly drops. That's physics. Now, it's not a real windy day. There is some wind, but it's coming, it's a crosswind at this moment, from left to right. Now you can see there, the flag. So, side wind's not going to do much. So my true speed right now, 66 miles an hour. According to the GPS, 69 on the dash. So clearly I can hold the 66 to 68 miles an hour on this road. Not a problem. So we're climbing now, speed drops. I'm gonna give it, and now it's full throttle. That's wide open throttle right now. That's as fast as this bike will go. Going uphill, you can see not accelerating. Held it at 69. Backing off the throttle as we come over the hill. Go downhill, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. All right, so you're doing down here is now 70. Let me get the bike up to a true 70 miles an hour. GPS is 70, 71 right now. Now we're going uphill, 72. Well, that's wide open throttle right there. 72, 73, it's barely holding that, going up this small hill. True speed is 69, 70. I'm over the top of the hill. Speeding up, so I'm gonna let off the throttle. Alright, climbing. I'm full throttle now, 70 miles an hour. GPS, 71, 72, 73. Was able to climb, giving more speed going up that hill. This is wide open throttle now, 74, 75. I'm going to slow down. This is downhill, so it's not going to be a true test. So when someone says, can I cruise at a certain speed? To me, cruising is not the same as wide open throttle, WOT. To me, cruising is I'm using less than wide open throttle, and I have some power on reserve in order to maintain my speed when the conditions change. Like when I'm going uphill, or when I'm facing a stiff headwind, either of those conditions, or I'm climbing in altitude. I'm up in altitude, I've got less power. Less power available because we're at altitude. Can I hold that? Can I cruise at that speed? And also, do I have anything left in order to pass a vehicle that's not, that's running slower than my cruising speed? Do I have anything left? Can I get around it? All right, we got this big uphill coming up. So I'm gonna full throttle right now, get as much momentum as I can. 72, 73 on the GPS, 74. All right, 74 wide open. Now we're going to have this 70. Now we've got this climb. I got it. It's wide open throttle right now, and I am climbing 72. And the numbers I'm calling out the speed. I'm reading the GPS 71. Holding doing 71 going up this hill at wide open throttle. No, sorry, dropped to 70. Alright, going over the top of the hill. Uphill coming up, so let's accelerate to the bottom. 74, 75, 76. Alright, 76. Now I'm starting to climb. Speed is dropping. 71, 70, 69, 68, 67, 66, and this is wide open throttle. 66, 65, 66. So it was able to hold mid-60s going up that relatively steep hill. So we're doing a slight climb here. I'm running 71, 70, 71, 72 in that range. I'm not at full throttle, but I'm very close to full throttle. It's not a very steep hill, so the slope is, you know, not bad. Pretty much able to hold that. Now I'm starting to lose it now. 60, about 68. I'm back to wide open throttle here. Trying to hold that 68 going up the rest of this hill. 69. Hill's starting to ease up now. Back up to 71. Now my assumption is that if I had luggage on here, I had more weight. Say I was traveling and I was on overnight trips, carrying luggage, 30 or 40 pounds of luggage, that it would be even more difficult to hold these speeds. I will say this, despite its lack of speed, I do enjoy riding this little bike. It's very enjoyable. I have a 690 KTM 690 Adventure, 690 Enduro. Sorry. And previous to that, I had a Husqvarna 701. Had that for 10,000 miles on the 701. I've got a little over 3,000 miles now on the 690. So I'm very familiar with that platform. And I think it's a fantastic bike. I like everything about the 300 Rally more than I do on the 690 or the 701, except the motor. I like the motor better on the 690. I like the 74 horsepower. I like the way it runs. But the transmission, the suspension, the weight, the handling, wind protection, all of that, I prefer the 300 Rally over the 690. Alright, this is Middle Creek Road. Now that my high-speed runs are done, thought I'd go play in the Twisties. My takeaway from today's test is that the Rally will run, it will cruise 70 miles an hour, carrying me and my gear, let's call it 230 pounds. It will run 70 on the flats. It won't hold a true 70 mile an hour on uphills or into a stiff headwind. Now,
cruising to me is not the same as wide open throttle. So wide open throttle with me on it, flat ground, I think the top speed of the bike is probably 75, 76, 77 miles an hour, something like that. Cruising would be, slower than that. I think based on today's test that I could comfortably tell people I can cruise all day long, about 65 miles an hour, have enough throttle left so that when the ground slopes up or I've got a stiff headwind, something like that, I have enough throttle left that I can, dial it in and maintain that 65 mile an hour cruise speed. I just don't think with my weight that and anything other than flat ground that I would tell people that I would be cruising at 70 miles an hour. And then, of course, if I'm carrying more weight, if I'm carrying more luggage, multi-day trip, I assume the cruising speed will be a little bit slower because of the extra weight. In any case, I hope you found this informative, and thanks for watching.